Take a look at this Twitter photo under the banner, "Good thing the Clippers owner isn't here to witness that." A black fan and a white fan standing together, mocking the racist comments allegedly made by the LA Clippers owner Donald Sterling, who appears to have told his girlfriend after she posted an Instagram photo of herself and basketball legend Magic Johnson, quote, "and don't bring him to my games." Despite the shock of it, there are a lot of legal questions involved in this case. We're joined by Judge Alex Ferrer. He's the host of Judge Alex, and by noted California defense attorney Tom Mesereau. Judge Alex, let me begin with you. Legally speaking, might whomever recorded this conversation be in more trouble than the voice that is drawing all the ire?
Yeah, if you're speaking about criminal court, absolutely. And the reason for that is because it's not illegal to be a racist. I mean, it is illegal to do things like not hire somebody based on their race. But as far as expressing your racist views, the First Amendment protects you from government action in that regard. That's why cretins like the Westboro Baptist Church that does the despicable act of protesting at funerals of military soldiers who died are able to get away with some of the horrible things they do. That being said, it doesn't protect you from private action, which is why we're seeing sponsors dropping like flies out of the Clippers support. And maybe fans who won't go to the game, which I hope they do, because obviously the players have put a lot into this, not just the owner. On the other side of the coin, however, the one who recorded this, there are, out of our 50 states, 38 states are what are called one-party states, which means anybody who's a party to the phone call can record the phone call. The other 12, which includes California, are two-party, which really means all-party states. Everybody who's on the phone call has to give consent for a phone call to be recorded. Violating that law by recording somebody without their consent in California can lead you up to a $2,500 fine and up to a year in jail. Although I doubt, being a first offense, that she would get any jail time in all likelihood.
And Tom Mesereau, to the extent that there's legal action forthcoming, civil, I would imagine, more than criminal, in connection with this case, it's not his first rodeo, so to speak. This is one of those instances where all of a sudden now people are going back and reading the clips and saying there's a laundry list of things that have been alleged or asserted against this speaker.
Well, I mean, there's a question. Number one, what is theoretically possible? The judge is correct. It's a misdemeanor to surreptitiously record someone like this. By statute, there's also a civil cause of action if someone surreptitiously records you. Now, does he want to file a lawsuit about this and have depositions taken and have them leaked to the press and have this be an ongoing process? I doubt it. I don't think he'll sue over this at all. Will the city attorney or the district attorney go after him on a misdemeanor? Again, I don't know. They might or they might not. The more important issue is, why did someone at this level of society allow themselves to be recorded making scurrilous racist statements like this? I'm not surprised that this kind of racism exists. A lot of people harbor these kinds of views. They do it subconsciously or they do it consciously. But for this guy to be this stupid to talk to someone and broadcast his absolutely virulent, unacceptable racism is surprising to me.
Alex, on a prior instance in 2009, a claim that was asserted by the Justice Department for housing discrimination was resolved by Sterling's payment of $2.73 million, the largest of its kind at that moment. That's not nuisance money. That's not 25 or 50K to go away. That's real money.
It is real money, but let's put it in perspective, Michael. Like you pointed out, the NBA, I believe that Larry's right, the maximum fine they can impose is $1 million. This is a man who's worth $1.9 billion purportedly. A fine of $1 million to him is the same ratio as fining somebody who makes $100,000 $52. That is the ratio we're talking about. So $2.7 million was a huge payment to get out of some allegations that were very similar to this, that he was preventing blacks and Hispanics from renting his properties because of derogatory feelings he had towards them, bringing his property values down. I don't think it hurt him much to pay that money to get rid of it, but that should have been the red flag to the NBA that we have a problem here, and it should have been taken care of back then.
Judge Alex Ferrer and Tom Mesereau, wish we had more time, but we thank you both for having